There we go.
I think I have it. Oh, too. It's all right. It's just that the people online just have. Did you hear that?
There you go.
See it.
Alan, you did the right thing. You came. Way to go. Yes.
There were more of us. You're supposed to come out in the morning though.
Good, there's a bunch of ladies at my house. I know that much. I thought it was at noon. I got there at 11 and it was.
Yeah, I was supposed to come at noon, but morning, but my Lois schedule changed. So.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, put the mic on. You turn it on. Oops, turn it on.
And my disclaimer is that I did this class this morning.
Yeah.
And that group got food. You only get to look at it.
Well, you got some stacks. These are stacks.
You didn't put that in the flyer.
It was not.
Which is the reason why I have a sweater on right now, because we had food from this morning.
Hey, you figured out how to just deal with it, right?
All right, you ready, Robbie? We're gonna just start.
Start.
Let's do introduce. So, hi everybody here, everybody there. Tonight we're gonna have a treat. My favorite presenter in all the land happens to be my wife, Robbie, and she's gonna talk about plant-based eating, which she's been doing for close to 2 years. She'll tell her own story, but she's amazing and she cooks great. And my big thing is taste. So I'll just say my part. She cooks plant-based food that has great taste to it. So I'm a fan. I'm probably about 80–90% that. And she's 100%. So here we go. I'm gonna turn the time over to Robbie.
Okay, and they got me all hooked up. So
Look at that, nice. I'll get rid of that one.
this will be quite exciting. We'll see how I do. All right. So everybody got this little booklet. It explains things the best. And so we're going to work through it. But before we do, why did you come to this? What's your why? Why would you come to a whole food plant-based class?
So I was vegan a few years ago,
Okay.
and after doing it for a while, my doctor said, "You are pre-diabetic," because I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And I just ate the carbs.
Yeah.
So I had to go back to the meat. So
Yep.
I'm gonna do it right.
Alan came because his wife told him to. That's what I'm guessing.
No, I've been off and on with plant-based.
Nice.
It just depends on, sometimes I'm feeling more like, okay, I need more plant-based diet in my life. It's more of a feeling, and then sometimes it's okay, I'm ready to
Yeah.
switch back over.
Yeah. That's perfect. Perfect. Marilyn?
I don't want to get diabetes. It's
That's
kind of
always a
runs
good
in
one.
my family.
Yeah.
And I just like to eat well and not eat lots of
Yeah.
fats and bad things.
Yeah. So those are all good reasons, and we'll touch on a bunch of that. My why was I went on a vacation with a relative. They invited me to come because the one relative is pretty sick. And they needed a little extra. They needed a little extra help. Anyways, it's someone I love dearly. And after, yeah, just sit anywhere. After spending a whole week with her and to see her quality of life and how it had just not the same person, you know, and how any disease, and we never know, it just hit me. I was like, around the corner, who knows what I don't know. And so mine was more an aha, if you think living, you know, that health would be the most important. But I guess I really got the connection between food and health. It just hit me so hard that I knew at that point when I got back from the week, I told Bill, there is absolutely, not that I'm going to get what she had, but whatever it is that there's absolutely nothing that I would put in my mouth or not put in my mouth to avoid where she is. And so that was my change, but I didn't know what that was gonna be. And before, food and health was usually just about dieting. And this time, it wasn't at all. I could care less. I had reached a point, I didn't really care the dieting piece. It was more the health piece. There was just like, okay, there's very few food that I haven't already tasted, so, oh well. Anyways, so it was a major dramatic thing. And I came to one of these classes, and some of you know Megan, she was teaching, I don't even remember, I think hers was a nutrition class. She was teaching it and talked about this, what we're gonna talk about today, which is Forks Over Knives. That's a group that has kind of started a lot of the plant-based eating. And she said, you should go watch the film and see if it answers any questions. And I watched that film, and everybody has their own path, and we're going to talk about that. It may be that you leave the class and you say, once a week, I'm going to do one meal that's solid, whole food, plant-based. For me, it was literally a light switch. It was night and day. I said, I'm going to do this for a day, and then I'm going to do this for a week, and then I just never looked back. And so here's the other thing that will encourage some of you. Personally, for me, the hardest part was really giving up Coke Zero. I didn't realize how much.
That's not plant-based?
No, it is not. I didn't realize how much I had. And so anyways, it was very strange. A lot of strange things happened to me. But the bottom line is I feel good. I wanted to do something proactively before I had the disease, which sounds like all of you do too, before I had an issue. And so that's why I went to this. So we're gonna go through this pretty quick. And because I can't actually cook stuff, then I'm gonna tell you my secret or my things that I find that work super well with plant-based. Oh, let's see. So those watching, I think I can come up to the next one. So this is how a plant-based, number one, so I think there's 6 of these, how a plant-based diet can boost your health. And obviously, chronic diseases, things with the gut, totally, they have a lot of evidence and a lot of things can prevent it. Has anyone ever heard of the China study? And what was that?
I have the book at home.
I do too. It's a boring, but actually, I think we might have it right here. It's a hard book. Yeah, it's just huge. Anyway, so what this was years ago too, they found these pockets in China that they were just flabbergasted. Like there was no type 2 diabetes, none. And there were all these diseases, heart attacks, none. And so they took a group of scientists and they did it, I want to say over 10 years. It was a long time. And they were able to go in and they gathered why these people, what is a common denominator or what happens. And of course it is, so it says the China study shows that a plant-based diet can reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, certain types of cancer, and other major illnesses. That it helped, the payoff was fitness, increased energy, reduced inflammation, and it was like a switch had gone off. So the coolest thing is on this page 1, if you look right there, for those of you online, you can text us later, but it's I don't know if they can see that. It's this right here. You can click there and you can watch the movie for free, the documentary. It's on Netflix. I paid for it because I didn't know. Anyways, highly worth it, especially if you have spouse or significant others that don't understand. It just explains it. And the nice thing is they use actual peer-reviewed papers to everything they say. So it's not just like somebody's opinion and it goes through. Okay, so what is whole food plant-based? And those of you who have done vegan or have done vegetarian before, this little graph is excellent. So a vegan diet is, it's no meat and poultry, seafood, eggs, and dairy. A vegetarian diet is just these two, is just meat. A vegetarian can have seafood, they can have eggs and dairy, that column isn't there. But so this would be for a vegan diet, if you said I'm a vegan, that's what you're not eating. Now, some people will say I'm plant-based, and I will tell you right now, I am during the week, Monday through Friday, I think I'm 90% whole food plant-based, but I probably have a 20% on the weekend where I do kind of sometimes fall into the plant-based diet. And sometimes I'll have some oil and I'll have some not how they are processed, you know, white rice and stuff. But anyway, so plant-based, you're, you know, it's the same as the vegan diet. And they are gonna have oil and they can have hot process. But whole food plant-based, which is what this encourages, is they're only eating whole grains, fruits, veggies, starches, and beans. And you're saying, really? And I can get everything with that. Now, what's the first thing, what's the first thing most people say when they see that? Where's the protein?
Oh, Carrie knows.
Where's the protein?
I said, where's the chocolate?
Yeah. We'll talk about that. There definitely is chocolate because it's a cocoa is a cacao is natural. Usually the issue is the oils. So now turn over to number, we're gonna go ahead so you can get that.
The other question is, will I be hungry?
Yeah,
Like,
oh, there's so many
eat?
questions, but go to number 4. So why do you think that whole food plant-based, why would they not let you have oils? Or why is that not a good?
Because it's
They
not
don't
whole.
olive oil, huh?
Not whole, it's awful.
It has been processed, been pretty good processing, but here's what it is highly, some of it is refined. The problem is where it says calorie density 101. So simply stated, calorie density is the measure of calories in a given weight of food, often expressed in calories per pound. High calorie density food packs a lot of calories per pound, with low calorie density foods do not. Okay, and so you could eat a lot of it, you're not going to feel satisfied. So you can see the calorie density scale. Do you want one of these, Dr. Lauer?
Sure, I can come get it.
Anyways, are you gonna eat a pound of beans? No. But if you did calorie density, that's 600 calories for a pound of beans. How full do you think you'd be? Like, yeah, and it's like, that's just the scale. But 1 pound of oil is 4,000 calories. So it helps you to see, and then they have this little thing here for people online and see this little chart. Yeah, right there. So if you looked at 480 calories is 4 teaspoons of olive oil for all this food. And so that's just to make you consciously aware, you know, and that's what I say, and everybody can do it for themselves. Do I still have oil? You know, on a daily basis, I'll have some here and there, but you will learn, don't use oils for cooking. You don't need it at all. You know, and so when I use, if I'm going to use olive oil, it's going to be a little on a salad or at the end, so you really get to taste it. Okay, and then I'll go back and remind me to explain to you how to use that cooking. So go to 3, we're almost done, and then we'll get to talking. Okay. Fill the plate. So in plant-based, you do not have to eat leafy greens. That's not, you don't just eat leafy greens. You can eat a lot of stuff, because if you ate the amount of leafy greens calorie-wise you would have to eat 16 pounds of kale to get your 2,000
It's a
calories.
lot,
Nobody's gonna do
it's
that.
a lot of kale.
So you would feel deprived, you would binge, you would be like. So if you look at this little plate they have down there, basically the center of your plate is your starch or your comfort food basis. So potatoes, sweet potatoes, corns, peas, brown rice, you know, any kind of beans. And then you build from there. And so this is kind of what, those are the 5 groups it has listed. And you can also do nuts, seeds, avocado, tofu, plant-based milks. Those are all in moderation things. And I will talk about those also. Anyways, the next part of it, and then we'll start doing questions. The next part just gives some examples of people who have been on it. And then, so you'll find it's quite interesting when you get online and start searching stuff. There's a huge group that's whole food plants-based because they want to save the animals, not me, I'm sorry, anyone listening. And there's another whole group who wants to save the planet. I do want to save the planet, however, that just was not my driving force in going to it, but that's what this kind of talks about. Save money at the groceries. I mean, my grocery bill is half what it was. I mean, it's not very expensive. Okay, so now it talks about how to get started. And it says, you can go overnight and just become a sudden one, but not necessarily the best way. So tonight is just to give you the big picture. And then what I suggest is find foods people already like in your family, introduce more of the whole food, and I'll explain a couple ways to do that. So here's the other thing, I'll let you know. Oh, I keep forgetting there are other people watching. Let's see, just wanted to show you this. Okay, so for me, so this is the foods you want to load up on. So for me, this is Monday through Friday, is basically what I stick to eat. Saturday and Sunday, I can enter these. And also included on this would be avocado. And then these I avoid. I rarely, occasionally, if I'm out somewhere and they only have white rice, I do, or they only have white pasta, I will. And these are for you to keep. So when I started, and probably the first 6 months, whatever, I was on this, just eating this and not my cereal or you know, chocolate or something.
Can I get a pen?
You know,
Can I get a pen?
yeah, anyone wants a pen. I dropped 25 pounds, not even trying, that's not how I was doing it, pretty quickly. And then I noticed, gee, the next 6 months, I haven't dropped any. Did my body just settle into the new way? And I realized that these, so this was a good review for me, that these are in moderation, that I had been putting them over here, like I was eating. But you know, hey, it got me started on it. I think I eat 1 avocado every day. And so now I'm just like to eat half. Really need that thick of avocado on my toast in the morning, you know, and the same with nuts. So I have, these are $5 at Walmart or something, they're so cheap. And I have every nut on my shelf. And so every time I go back, nuts are great, but I was eating probably a cup of cashews every, so yeah. So, it's with anything, you'll just learn and.
Unsalted.
Oh, these are all unsalted.
Yeah.
So now I'm just gonna, so did that give you kind of, and then the next, I'm not doing an advertisement for forks over knives. However, one of the greater things, and afterwards you can look at my thing, it's free app, you can go forks over knives. You don't have to buy the upgraded, they have free recipes. If you forget what you're supposed or not supposed to eat, they have it. They have tons of little video clips. The other one right down is called nutritionalfacts.org. So this is a nonprofit. This is, I should have brought his book, Dr. Grenier. And he started this also, and he's a plant-based whole food. His is excellent. So on his, he talks about, he will put videos up constantly, everything on his. These people, you know, some things YouTube, you know, you upgrade, you have to buy it, but most of the stuff's free. These I highly recommend. I'm a paper person, you know, and so they come out every 3 months and I religiously buy them. They're one of my favorite things. And the coolest thing is in the back of each of them, they give you a kitchen trick. And so we had a lunch earlier today and no one knew the trick. And I was like, see, and I looked at it like one thing. So I'm gonna pass on the awesome trick. And that is any peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers, chili peppers. I didn't know this. You cut them in half, take the seeds out, put them in your air fryer for 20 minutes, and they turn out perfect fire roasted. After the 20 minutes, don't open it, just leave them in there to sit for a minute. The skin comes off in a minute. Anyways, because that was a real good trick. They always have a trick. Anyways, I do like them, but this nutritionalfacts.org, he has tons, when you go on his site, and he has a lot of apps, and if you register, you'll get videos. Again, the good thing with him is he doesn't make any statement that he doesn't back up.
Is he the one that just
source.
recently said, I think I get his video, he said,
Yeah.
there's no such thing as dying of old age, was that him?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was, yeah, because his famous book that you can get, I listened to it on Audible, it's excellent. It is called How Not to Die. And he is 100% convinced it is what you put in your mouth that will determine how long and good a life. Yep.
I'd like to give a practical example of if you go out for breakfast and you'd like to have a veggie omelet,
It's true.
how you explain that
Yeah.
to the server to not confuse them.
We've had a few missed hits. And I always just say, I say, and you can eat out on a plant-based whole food. And I can tell you which restaurants are very good. Breakfast sometimes is tricky. And I just said, you know, those hash browns, again, it's the weekend. I know they're gonna have some on them, but basically they're just the hash browns. I said, I want the plate with all those hash browns. And I want the veggie omelet, but no egg. And everything in that veggie omelet, I want spread out.
With some servers hail the no.
And then I want half of that avocado slice, and I want separate salsa. Some of them can get it. The one she said, oh, I have to talk to them. She left for a while.
And then how about the steak kebab?
I said steak kebab. We were at Roadhouse or whatever. I said, I'd like the steak kebab, the rice with everything with no steak. I don't even want to tell you how much money that meal cost. Instead of, I just wanted to pay for the steak kebab, which was like $14 or something. Instead, she made everything aside. I mean, it came to like almost $30 for my, it was like, come on, people. So sometimes you have to
That's when you go to a
say,
steakhouse though.
you know, give me the steak kebab, take the steak off and do it. Again, I'm not worried about contamination or, you know, whatever, but I do want to really quick show you the best thing. If you go to nutritionfacts.org or go on their website, the app is called The Daily Dozen. And so if you're confused and you're just starting out, this is all it is. This is today, you can go tomorrow, you can go back to the next day, and you can set what date, and all they do, cancel, all they do is Dr. Grenier recommends if you're doing whole food, plant-based, how much you need of everything. And if you get confused and say, whoa, beans, you hit the little icon. You guys can't see. Well, I could have done it on the computer and showed it up there. But anyways, it'll say 1/4 of a cup of hummus. That counts. That's one of your 3 servings. Anyways, and then he has videos if you're confused or you want to know, like, well, why should I eat chickpeas? watch his little video. But at first, I was pretty good about using this. Now I kind of just know, but it helped keep me on track. And then the one thing he has at the bottom, so now you guys, if you have questions, just stop me, because I can just.
I think you should give out some samples.
So hummus, Bob loves to make hummus.
Oh,
Olive oil, it's neat. Does that,
You
is that
can,
with your moderation?
yes, you have to moderate it. And I brought, these are my 3 favorite books. Let me just really quick pull up. Let's see, let's go. Oh, this is the Nutrition Facts. That's him. He's a quirky guy. But he'll talk about anything you want to know. But if you go here, and this is the thing I was just gonna say, if you go on Pinterest and you type in, remember to type in whole food plant-based, hundreds of recipes, like so many great recipes. This is one woman that, Cozy Peach Kitchen, she does a lot of really good stuff. There's a couple of them, anybody who wants to ask, this is a list of how to get plant protein. And it'll tell you really the amount of plant protein that you actually need. It's, I think I figured out for me between 50 and 80 grams a day. It's pretty, you'd be surprised how easy it is. And there's a lot of major bodybuilders and athletes now that have gone plant-based, including our dear friend Boston guy. What's his name?
I need more than Boston.
Football player, famous.
Oh, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Yeah, so you
Boston
can
guy.
still get muscle, you can still get proteins, not a problem. Oh, I did have to say this, so.
And then pass out some.
Okay, the one super important thing when you're plant-based is, the one thing that you cannot get in any plant is B12. So I do take B12 every day. The thing is, if you go on, people have gone crazy with B12. Do not take, this is 100 mcg is what Dr. Geiger or whatever, what he recommends. That's all you need. And this is for people over 60. So I think it's less. I don't, it says
100
100
micrograms.
100,
Oh,
no, 1,000 micrograms. But
Ah,
you're at CVS, I'm telling you, you have to look, because they all say 5,000, 10,000. It's like crazy. People get shots for it, but this is all you need. So I do one of these. I do this pretty religiously every day. So there's a couple, so I'll let you sample.
Yay.
This is from, this one here is a whole wheat. Oh, no, this one is, the other thing with plant-based, so fun. And they come in little bags. Start getting a variety of flours. You just have them in your pantry. So this is with rye flour. So these are just plant-based crackers. There's nothing, we can just pass it around. So you guys can just try those. This is with, these are super good. And this is just with a white flour.
oh, you make these for bite?
I mean, this is all I make. Because here's the thing, I'm cheap. And I hate paying $6 for a box of crackers that I can't eat because of all the ingredients. And this has no ingredients.
Where is this one?
So that's just using white flour. Yeah, and the others using, well, it's a combination. I won't say I use half white, half almond. And then the other one is 100% rye flour. But it was just so
Rye
you,
flour's crunchy.
well, I didn't roll it as thin. But I'm telling you, the recipe to make crackers, it literally takes less than 10
Who
minutes.
needs water?
It is so
Serious, yeah.
fast, super,
Plain
super
water.
fast
Brown water.
to make. Okay, so now that I've totally confused you, I will tell you, so here are some questions from this morning. One was, well, then I can never make anything with the cream sauce. We can't have cream. How am I ever gonna make anything with the cream sauce? Does anyone know the whole food plant-based answer? Right, that's why I brought all the cashews. So I made, today we made Mexican bowls. That's the other thing I like hers. This woman right here, her husband was the founder of the plant-based movement. This older woman, and this is her daughter. But she's the first one that ever made like a plant-based cookbook, and they call themselves the women in the. But they are very funny and a great book. But we do a ton of bowls. It's just, it's easier to incorporate everything. So there's some tricks to getting your family to do, I don't know. So I'll explain the one bowl that we did, which was like a Mexican bowl. Does anybody actually like kale? Raw kale, salads, okay, so you're good. I don't mind kale, but it's not my favorite. And so what I do is I will make, it's like in our fridge, I tear it up so I have it for like the week or whatever. And so I take kale and then I'll take romaine. And then I cut it so, because I don't like weeds in my mouth. Some of the lettuces now feel like a weed in my mouth. So I chop them all really good. And if you don't have one, I should have brought it. I didn't bring all the other stuff. Get a plastic. Have you seen the salad knives? You have a salad knife. It's plastic. You use metal. That's where you get the rusty on lettuce. You use these plastic. They're just called a salad knife. They're awesome. Anyways, so I mix the kale in with the romaine. You don't even notice it's there. The other thing is, if you're trying to get leafy greens in, I don't want to eat a whole salad. So we make these bowls. So you put a little of the lettuce and the kale in the bottom. Then put your brown rice. And on the brown rice, I mix the brown rice. Also, there's a couple of you that are empty nesters. Best investment I made was a tiny rice cooker. You can get them for 15 bucks on Amazon. So it was small. It's just, it makes 6 cups. So I have enough left over and it's fast. So I do brown rice, like it's 3 cups of brown rice. And then I'll put a third of a cup of quinoa. Because again, that's not something I enjoy just eating. But just start mixing the stuff with a little of more healthy stuff. You won't even notice it. Quinoa. And then start layering.
How do you cook your quinoa?
I cook it with the rice.
So just
in the
use for
rice
the greens.
cooker.
Okay.
Yeah, I just
The
same. The same?
Same time, same
Yep.
water.
same everything. And my rice cooker has all the different grains and how to cook with it. And you can also do your oats for the morning. Yes.
Just open up for questions, is what I would suggest.
Yes. Open up for questions. Oh, so to get a cream sauce, here's the thing. Get your blender. You're gonna put 1 cup of cashews, 1 cup of water. You want it creamier, put a cup of almond milk. You want it super creamy, put a cup of coconut cream, but it's just 1 cup of water, 1 cup of cashews. Some people say you have to leave it overnight, 10 minutes. Then I'll throw in a bunch of garlic, garlic cloves, and then you just put it on sauces, blend, and it will make this creamy base. And so like if I'm doing a risotto with mushrooms, then that's what I would add. I made, what's the chili? Poblano. Oh my gosh, everyone loved it. I used the air fryer, I fried them, yeah. And you just put them in with a cup of water and this, and it makes this creamy with just a hint of tanginess. And so that is a good trick. All the tricks
Substitute that for mayo?
Oh, absolutely. I use a lot of hummus instead of mayo. There are, in the cookbook, I could show you, they've got vegan mayo, but I don't need it anymore. And the other thing is, remember that chart that showed, getting away from the processed things. There is a ton of vegan processed stuff in the grocery store. that is not whole food plant-based. That doesn't mean you can't have it, and I do have some of them for when I really want something. But most of the stuff you can make yourself, and it really actually isn't that hard. These are the oils I do use. I figure there are 657 servings in this. My fourth of a spray is not gonna be life or death. But I usually use these when I'm doing something in the air fryer.
Where do you get those?
This is at Costco. This is at Trader Joe's. I am a huge Trader Joe fan because you can get things you can't get anywhere else. Here's another thing. How many of you only use sea salt? A lot of, oh, you guys are good. A lot of people are just using sea salt. Has no iodine. So this is another one you would want to get. Every once in a while, I'll just, it's not salt, it's actually seaweed from Maine. It's tiny, but it'll just give you, if you're low on iodine. Salt has gotten a bad rap. I highly recommend. I've been to the Redmond farm. I've seen the hole where it comes out of, but it comes from the earth where there's no way deep in the earth. And if you have issues with too much salt, there's stuff, you can see all the minerals. It's not just plain. Their salts are really good. And we try not to use too much salt. Oh, Bill told you that's one of our favorites at Trader Joe's. You'll learn to use a lot of spices. If you're using fresh herbs, put them in at the end, right before you're about to eat. People put the herbs in too soon, and then the flavor, they're bomb, you know. So that's another little trick. What are my other tricks? Oh, so I could tell, oh, and it's not all equal when you're doing plant-based. So just be aware, there are some recipes that I do want the oat milk. It just has a different taste than the almond. But, you know, it's always good to know this is 30 calories and this is 120. So not that you don't have to count calories, but that's just something. All of a sudden, also know that you can experiment. There are so many good vinegars. I mean, this one is a balsamic. This one says champagne vinegar, although there is no alcohol or champagne in it. And also be aware, they have some amazing vinegars at the Asian market, but this is, one recipe did call for brown rice vinegar, but just know if it comes from the Asian market, you are going to get some sugar. They do put a little tiny bit of sugar in it.
Do you ever use coconut or milk? or-
Yes, I use a lot of coconut milk.
Okay, so you just showing those examples of.
Just
calorie difference,
examples,
not-
yeah, just examples. A lot of you know, it's just me and Bill, so if I'm doing any kind of baking, you can use other recipes to make them plant-based. And it calls for, mostly when it calls for, like sugar stuff, then you can substitute applesauce. But I don't like buying a big jar of applesauce because then it sits in my fridge and there's this nice film of mold by the time I go to use it the next time. So I buy the
That's the
12
taste.
pack. This is all I ever use now and it's awesome because it's like just the right amount. It doesn't go bad. So I do use this a lot.
It's the one from our baby granddaughter.
This is another really good trick, especially